Yo! Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on this channel. And this is HLF1 Season 3, Round 3 around Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. For those who didn't know, in this league right now, I am the championship leader, as you're about to see now. I'm sorry for the questionable picture quality, but there's the standings coming into this race. And quite honestly, I mean, as per usual with me, I have no clue where I'm standing at pace-wise compared to my rivals. On one lap pace in the try, I was really close to my championship rival Inferno Lewis. But as you can see, qualifying is far from try condition. We are intermediate conditions for this qualifying session. Much like Brazil in FS, it's meant to dry up at the end of the session. If it's going to do that or not, no one knows. That's the beauty of this sport. It's the beauty of this game and leagues, that even when it's forecasted to dry up as we are now on board, I believe our best lap of the session, because I literally only got one clean lap in. The other laps just kept evaluating them because I couldn't drive in the intermediates. Usually I enjoy driving in the wet conditions, but Britain is one of those tracks where it's just awful for me to drive in wet conditions. Like, Britain is by far one of those tracks for me where I would prefer dry conditions any time of the day. But yeah, we have to go with it. As a championship leader, the gap in the top of the standings is 3 points coming into this race. I had to get a result in. Our championship rival, I believe, is on pole position. We're on pole position right now. But anything can still happen, as we are in the mid part, about to go into the final sector of our best lap in the session. Yeah, anything can happen. I needed to get onto like the first couple of rows for the start of the race, because Britain is notorious for being chaotic in the midfields for the race starts, and I knew that if I want to have a decent chance at actually surviving lap 1 and turn 1, I need to be far up and high on the grid. As we're now finishing our lap, it's going to be enough for second place for originally. Our championship rival has not posted a lap time as of now. Now he has, and he's second, on original pole. We basically went for another last hurrah. At this time, the track is like awful. Like, it's not good enough for softs or the dries, but it's not really good enough for Indus anyway as well. We are attempting to get our best running, because P6 is not what we want from this qualifying session. Now on the same lap, Maggots and Beckett's, I just, yeah, lost the car, then gave up, full throttled it, and just spun myself around. There was no point continuing on that lap. And yeah, fortunately for us, no one improves, as you're going to see now. We start P6, our teammate is absent, Inferno Lewis is on pole, our championship rival, so we have a massive task ahead of us to try and just outscore him, or be as close to him as possible for damage limitation. But now we are lining up in our 5th grid slot, because someone in front of us actually has a grid penalty of 5 positions for the antics in qualifying. But here we go. The lights are not on yet. We're waiting, and now the lights are coming on. You just have to be cautious in there. 5 red lights. They're out, and away we go. We have a glitch in the gate where it says that we get blue flags, but it doesn't really matter. We get a decent-ish start. We have 2 cars around us who started on mediums, and we got past one of them who was in front of us. We are now 4th. Going into turn 3, we see a gap, and we dive it down inside of the racing point of Tyro, who's, I believe, 3rd in the standings as of now. He tries to dive it to the inside of turn 4, but I did leave him room, but I think he just bounced off my car. And this is a dream start, dream case scenario for me. I am up to 3rd at the end of the first sector on the first lap from 5th. As I've always said, on lap 1 it is massively important, even if you have to lose a couple of positions, keep the car in one piece, so it have a very decent chance of recovering if you do lose some time. But we are flying on this opening lap. We are 3rd and actually gaining rapidly on our championship rival. We had a bit of a mare through Cops, but I think Lewis in front of us had even more of a mare. We have decent Maggots, decent Beckers, and decent exit, as you're going to see, onto the hangar straight. We are gaining. Rich Mix and Overtake mode are engaged. We are in the slipstream of Inferno Lewis. We're trying to make up one more position on the first lap. and Inferno Lewis tries to defend the inside, but he runs wide on exit. We are side by side, overtake mode, try round outside, going into the Velge again, and I believe we have got the move done. Second from fifth on lap 1, crucially ahead of our championship rival, Inferno Lewis, and that was a dream start for us into this race. Lap 3, we are only barely not safe to Lewis, the RS range-wise, and unfortunately, he will pick up the RS from us, and now it's a case of trying to keep him behind. We have decent-ish pace on the straight lines. I think we are running similar downforce levels, so we should be fine as long as we get decent exits onto the DRS straights on this track. We should be good enough to keep him behind. Lap 4, we are again 7 tenths, I believe, ahead of Inferno Lewis, so there will be another DRS. The race leader is not pulling away as much as I thought they would, to be honest. It's like cat and mouse game. He's pushing 1 lap, gains 4 tenths on us, then he's cooling off and we gain the same time back on him. So the point is the gap is not going down nor up. So yeah, right now we're just in a status quo where we can't really go for the race lead. But now, as we're all the way to lap 9, Inferno Lewis has stayed behind us, even though the gap is now really small, and we are now thinking to pit at the end of lap 9. Basically, because we qualified on intermediate tyres, we got to start on a fresh set of tyres, whatever we wanted, which is why you saw some people starting on mediums. Fresh shafts can go to the end of lap 13 for you around here at a decent pace. Our front left is overheating, we have a 3-second gap in front of us, and we are under pressure from Lewis still. So our thinking is in air. Undercut, massive undercut, thinking that maybe the Red Bull in front and Inferno Lewis behind us is not going to go in straight away with us. That's the only thing that can ruin our plans, really. And yeah, our thinking in air, our plan in air is just to go for a massive old undercut, which on this game in particular is OP. Lewis is getting really close to us, but it doesn't matter. We are pulling into the pits. Lewis is staying out. Potsy, the Red Bull in front of us, is staying out. Barely slowed down for the pit limiter. No penalty for that. We only have 1 warning during this time in the race that we got on lap 2. We've been really clean and really consistent throughout the first stint. Now we're getting rid of the we're getting rid of the soft tires. We've got the mediums on. We have a nice gap to feed back into. We are going to check if Inferno Lewis has any penalties or any warnings. He does have 1 warning against his name, so we are on level as far as warnings are concerned. We're going to come out in P9, but crucially 10 seconds, 11 seconds of clean air in front of us. So that is crucial for us, and we can just go on to push. Potsy did not hit at the end of the lap. He went down for another lap. So lap 11, we are going for the fast lap of the race so far, and you can see only now Potsy is pulling into the pits, and I can tell you now, he had a bit of a mare exiting Lovefield, no, Brooklands I think it is, the corner going onto the old pit straight. He had a bit of a tank slapper there and even lost the lead to Inferno Lewis. Inferno Lewis is, or was, your original leader, because now it's all about if 1, we can overtake Potsy, the Red Bull, and 2, if you can pull a gap, because Potsy is rapid around this track. We are going across the line. Of course, we're going to get the purple fast lap of the race for now, and we are crucially going to overtake Potsy for the net race lead, or so we thought at the time, as we don't really know where Lewis is going to end up. But Lewis is pitting at the end of the same lap, and we are going to also get ahead of Inferno Lewis, our main championship rival, to the net lead of this race. Potsy, the Red Bull behind us, is second, so that's even better for us. But the race is not over from here, because as I said previously, Potsy is rapid around here, and on the next lap we have all sorts of issues, because 1, we have a backmark in front of us who are really wanted to get by before Magnus and Beckett, but as you're going to see, he's trying to give way, but then decides otherwise, and we are stuck behind this guy going into Magnus Beckett. We flip our camera to something that we're not used to, so we are running a wrong camera angle. Potsy is right at us, and we still have to lap that car. So we are just trying to multitask, Pozzi side by side with us and taken the net race lead, but we are not giving up without a fight. We are side by side through the Stowe corner. We get some overtake mode going on, and we try to keep the lead, net lead of the race, going into the Belgian chicane. We have a slight contact there, but we're still side by side. I'm leaving as much room as I can without exiting the track myself, and we half spun Pozzi around, which means that he's going to stay in net P2, but we have a bit of a breather. I talked to Pozzi after the race about this incident. He was like, nah, you're not at fault of this, it was a racing incident, which I agreed to as well. Lap 16, end of lap 16. The two drivers in front of us who were on the alternative medium to soft strategy are now into the pit, so we are going to we are going to claim the lead of this race. Lap 17, 10 laps to go. Pozzi is not done with us, but he's out of the DRS, and I think he's just struggling to get back into the DRS. Inferno Lewis is battling Pozzi for that P2, which means that for now, we have a slight breather behind us. Pozzi and Inferno Lewis have penalties to their name. I have still only one warning, but now, in our minds, we have another problem. The two drivers on alternative strategies are now on soft tyres. With now 7 laps to go, they're rapid. And I thought that, this is curtains, we're probably going to lose to those two. Lap 21, we have the same Alfa Romeo in front of us to lap. This time, no problems with him, which I was really, really glad about. No issues. The final thing I wanted from this race is to have any issues with back markers. At the end of lap 21, we are still leading, and you can see Inferno Lewis has taken second place from Pozzi, because Pozzi, I think, had some contact exiting Stowe with Inferno Lewis, and Pozzi was half spun around yet again. So now, it is myself in P1 and our championship rival in P2. Lap 23, end of lap 23, we have another car to lap. This time it's the Williams of Elke, trying to do his best to not lose us any time, which he's actually pulling off really, really nicely indeed. He's going to go off the track to let us through, which you don't really have to do. I would have got by anyway. Now, 3 laps to go, and it's looking ever better for us. And now, lap 26, the final lap of the race, we decided to go for a push lap. We had a lot of fuel left, we had some ERS. I wanted to push this final lap to see how good of a lap I can get to then, because tyres, although the indicators would claim that it would be bad enough for us to fill some tyre wear, they felt great, and I still had a lot of grip. The gap to Lewis is going up, plus I only still have that one measly track limits warning, while Lewis and literally every driver behind us has a minimum of 3-second time penalty. So it's looking ever better for us now, as we are in the second sector of the final lap, trying to push to our second win in a row, second win of 3 races in this season so far, and to extend the championship lead even further through Cops. Nice and easy. We're actually catching up a Racing Point of Tyro, who had a incident, I believe, a few laps ago, so he's down in 11th or 10th, I can't really remember. So we are even catching him. We are nearly 5 tenths, I believe that is, or it's not even more. I can't see on my small preview screen, but we are massively up on our PB. And I wasn't thinking at it during the time, but we could even get a fast lap of the race on the final lap. But through the well chicane, nice and easy, don't spin around here, exiting the final corner, and we take the win here in Britain and the fastest lap on the final lap in style, winning. No pole position, didn't lead every lap, but we did win, got the fast lap and drive of the day, which felt ever better than ever. I can't speak, but this race was epic. For the third time this season, third time in 3 races on the podium, second time in a row on the top step, and outscoring our championship rival, and also in the constructors as well. Mercedes, my team, is gaining on Ferrari for the constructor championship battle as well, for the lead. And yeah, what a race this was. Did not expect to have the race pace over Lewis. I expected it to be close, but I thought it was going to be like 3rd race pace wise, but it was. I expected it to be really close, and that it was. We are now just going to look at the race results, and I do believe we were the only driver without a single track limit penalty. We got one warning throughout the whole race, but crucially no penalties. We had a close one in the pit entry, but even that wouldn't have mattered at the end. Taking the screenshots, and yeah, what a race this was. This wasn't as easy as Baku. We had to fight for it, and after starting P5 on the grid, I thought that was curtains already, but no, a epic first lap, and yeah, just controlled the race when we got the lead. Here's the driver standings. We should be in the lead by 11 points, but the fastest laps have not been counted as of now. In the Constructors' Championship, we are technically 3 points behind Ferrari. Again, the fastest lap has not been counted in. But yeah, this is it. There is no Formula Sundays race coming this week because they are on a week break, so the next video will also be from HLF1. This has been it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's goodbye from me. See you guys next week.